Ugh. All right, good evening. A little late today, um, but we're going to get started. A little 7 minutes behind. Um, so what we are talking about, this is a series that we are going on, and it's the stories that we're telling ourselves. And what we are doing is we are learning how to rewrite the story, rewriting that script that someone has told us that we need to have, rewriting the place in which people have said we needed to be. So rewriting that story. And really, what is the story that you're telling yourself? There's a story that you keep telling yourself that lands you back in the same position. I know I had asked Spirit to give me, just some energy of understanding why I was always coming back to this thing, this space. And it's always because there's something that you're telling yourself that lands you back in the same, same spot. So it's this story that you spin. And so if you came to the workshop or if you've seen the videos of the workshop, you'll see where we talk about where you are saying a thing, someone says something, and then you kind of find the evidence of what they said to be true. And so, what we have to learn is that the things that people say about us, we have to learn, is it true? Okay, so what we're doing in this series is we're going to be breaking the narrative loop that keeps us anchored in the past. So, there's something that keeps us where we start moving forward, and then all of a sudden we regress and we're back where we started from. That saying where they say you take 10 steps forward, 2 steps forward, and then you take 10 steps back. And the reason you do that is because the story that you're telling. It's that your mindset. Your mindset is always leading you back to say, I'm not able to accomplish the goal that I say that I want to accomplish. So last week we did something where we did something most people spend their lives trying to avoid. And we have been avoiding this now for some time. Okay. We've been avoiding it, and we can't say that we haven't been, but we've been avoiding this. We looked at the lies that we've been calling facts. So there have been things that people have been saying about us that we deemed them to be true, and we put them on trial. And and I know some of us went home and we felt like that we were in this place that you haven't touched in years. And this is like that place of like getting to the root of a thing. When you get to the bottom of a thing, when people say, I'm going to get to the bottom of it, when you get to the root of a thing, when you're grabbing and you're getting to that deeper place of yourself, of your soul, of the inner parts of you, and you're getting into that place of finding out where this is growing from. When we look at a root, we understand where it's growing from. So when we're looking at when the scripture tells us we separate the wheat from the tares, the wheat and the tares, the wheat is something that's going to grow, the tares is something that's going to keep it from growing. So when we pull up when, we used to do, when you do gardening, when you pull up the weeds, but they always tell you get it at the root so it doesn't come back. So what we did last week is we touched on some things and we had to get it at the root so it won't come back. And so that means the work is working. So tonight we just go one more layer, because it's not just the true belief itself that keeps you stuck. It's the story that you keep telling yourself. So when you're writing in your diary or when you're writing in your journal and you keep telling yourself the same story, over and over again, it's like that story is just, it relives in your brain and it's just something that you keep telling yourself. So every time you retell a story, you're not just remembering, you're rewiring your brain. Okay, you rewired it to go back to that place, rewired it to go back to that question. So the question of tonight is, what are you rewiring into? So think of a story from your life, um, you've told so many times, and it almost feels like you're doing a performance. And I can tell you it was, mine used to be, I'm doing this by myself. I'm a single mom and I'm, working hard and, I'm not able to do a lot of things. So a story about something that hurt you, defined you, or limited you. A lot of people use their story as a means to get over or a means to just live, right? It's surviving. I'm surviving, but I'm surviving through the story. And outside of the story, who do I become? So I want you to just kind of take some time. That story that you hold on to tonight, we find out why and whether you're willing to rewrite a new one. So it's like that root that we've been holding on to. You're holding on to the root of a thing. And the question is are you really not too so much to rewire your brain, but are you really ready to repot the plant or you repot yourself in a different life? So so we're going to connect last week to tonight. So a lie repeated long enough becomes logic. You logically think that every time someone tells you something that you believe it, that it becomes true. So tonight we look at what happens when the logic becomes the story you keep living out loud. Last week we identified the lie. Tonight we examine the vehicle that it travels in, which is you. Because lies don't just live in your head, they live in the story you keep telling. And every retelling gives the lie another lease on life. So, have you ever had a friend where every time you turn around there, it's the same story? So I had this girlfriend, and um, every time I would see her, she never gave me any good news. She always gave me the story about her baby daddy, about what he hasn't done, how he hasn't paid child support. And it was the same story. So I could give her the story. So I can give and fill in the blanks. So if she missed something, I can go ahead and fill it in because why? I had heard this story so many times. And to try to get her to think differently or to speak differently about it, it was very difficult because she lived in this space of this is the only story that I need to tell or that I can tell because this is the only thing that gets me the attention that I want or that I think I need, right? So she's always telling this story and it's always negative. They say negative Nancy. She was the lady that was so negative every time. Like there was never a time. And I remember mid-sentence, I asked her, when are you going to tell me something good that happened to you? Has anything good happened to you? And that's a moment where you have to pull it from the root and ask, but like, are you okay? Like, is this something that, um, you're telling this story, but are you really thinking about where the story is coming from? Okay. So Isaiah 43:18 through 19 says, forget the former things. Don't dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do not perceive it. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and the streams in the wasteland. So forget about what happened to you. I know people say, oh, forget about that. It's okay. It's it's all right, forget about that. Don't keep thinking about it. Don't keep thinking about it. And it's hard for us to say that because it sounds good to someone else, but what sounds good to them, it's really hard for another person to actually do that thing. So it's hard for a person to forget about what's happened to them. It's hard for a person to forget about um what has happened. It's hard to forget about something. There was an incident that happened at my house on Saturday, and I went through these emotions. And yesterday I was angry, like I was livid, angry about something that happened over the weekend. And so we have to navigate through the emotions. And my daughter's like, Mom, it's and it's like, no, it's not okay because I have to navigate through that So I know I can come out on the other side and I don't have to rehearse what happened, because then I'll be able to tell the story and then it won't be anything that affects me. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want to be able to tell a story and not have it affect you in the midst of you telling a story. And so this is where we're at when I tell people your story should edify, it shouldn't make you cry. Okay. So let's look at Isaiah 43:18 out of the Message Bible. Because, like I said, I love reading out of the Message Bible because the Message Bible gives me such a good, like it gives me that good peace. So 43:19, 43:18 and 19, a good chunk of the Bible. So it starts at 16. It says, "This is what God says, the God who builds a road right through the ocean, who carves a path through the pounding waves, the God who summons horses and chariots and armies. They lie down and they can't get up. They're snuffed out like so many candles. Forget what's happened. Don't keep going over old history. Be alert, be present. I'm about to do something brand new. It's bursting out. Don't you see it? There it is. I'm making a road through the desert rivers and the badlands. Wild animals will say thank you, the coyotes and the buzzards, because I provided water in the deserts, rivers through the sun-baked earth, drinking water for people I choose, the people I made especially for myself, a people custom made to praise me. We were custom made to be in this place. And he's saying now, don't think about what's happened. Okay? Whatever's happened, it's happened. Okay. God is telling you, the word is telling, forget about what happened because I'm about to do something new. Okay. And I know we always talk about this. Springtime is coming. Spring is here. We're about to hit summer. We are in springtime where things are starting to come up. Trees are blossoming. Um, they're blooming. Flowers are blooming. Things are coming up. Ways are changing. Your habits are changing. This new woman is bursting. It's like this new thing is about to come forward out of you. And he's like, I need you to forget about what's happened. I need to forget about the relationships. I need you to forget about all of those things because he says, forget about what's happened. Don't even go over old history. We don't need to go back to 1995, 2005, 2022, when COVID was happening, 2020, when things were, the state of affairs. He's like, don't go back to that because I'm about to do something very brand new. But you have to be aware and you have to be present and you have to be alert. Okay. Your alertness means that you got to be in your meditation, you got to be in your prayer closet, you got to be ever so present with him. And you have to be on this, it's like on standby, is what I just heard in the spirit realm. It's like being on standby when you're flying in on a plane and you didn't get an actual ticket, but you're flying standby, meaning that any moment, and this is for somebody out there, that at any moment, they're going to call your name and they're going to say, we got a seat for you. And it might be even something where they bump you up to maybe first class or, a different seating section where you thought my ticket said that I was back here. But they're like, we got some more seats because now you're on standby and we need to place you. And so that is what God is saying. I'm placing you because you are on standby. Now I need to bump you up, maybe to first class, maybe to that little section behind first class because you're not ready for the first class, but you're ready to be seated. And so he says, I'm ready to seat you. Okay. This new woman, the new essence of who she is, this new thing. I'm about to do a new thing. Got to be ready. You got to be present and you got to be prepared for it because as soon as I do it, there's no looking back. You can't go back and say, oh, I forgot. And no, be ready, be present, start preparing for the things that you're saying, okay, that you're wanting. In this series that I'm teaching, I've come up with 4 truths about the story you keep retelling. The first point is this: the story you keep telling is the one you keep living. Neuroscience and scripture agree on this. The mind moves in the direction of its most dominant thoughts. So if you're thinking more negative, I'm never going to have anything, I'm always going to be in this place, I'm never going to get out of debt, I'm always going to be compounded with, all of this debt or this income, or I'm always going to be living paycheck to paycheck. Every time you retell a painful story, the betrayal, the failure, and the moment that everything fell apart in your life, if I keep going back telling the story of when I went to jail and how it affected me, that's something that it fell apart in my life. Your brain starts to fire the same neural pathways as it first happened. So you're not just remembering it, you're re-experiencing that thing that's happening because you can give detail on, details. And so what God calls that is line upon line, precept upon precept. You can give the actual details. You can literally close your eyes and you can just tell the story with your eyes closed, right? And so that's how it was with the girlfriend that I used to hang out with. Like, I could close my eyes and immediately when the phone rang, I knew it was going to be this story, and she was going to get into the story, and she was going to tell me about her baby daddy, and she was going to tell me about the old sorrows. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. It was going to be all of that thing. And so she's re-experiencing it, but you're also making me experience the thing that you are re-experiencing. And every time you retell it, you're making me re-experience the thing that you keep re-experiencing yourself. Okay. And if the story is your most told story, it is also becoming your most lived reality. Do you want to know why you are where you are right now? It's because the story that you keep telling yourself. Not a story that you're telling anybody else. It's the story that you keep telling yourself. You keep reliving this story, you keep living it out, you keep putting it out there, and you keep re-experiencing it, and you keep doing, and so it's the most lived reality. So you want to know why you keep living paycheck to paycheck? It's because the story you keep telling yourself internally. You don't necessarily have to speak it out. It's just the internal thing. You feel it. You know, this is paycheck to paycheck. As soon as your paycheck comes, you like it's already gone. Okay. So the narrative is not just declaring your life, it's shaping it. So Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Reading it out of the Message Bible, we're going to go to Proverbs 4:23. Proverbs 4:22 through, 23 to 27. Keep vigilant. Watch over your heart. That's where life starts. I love that. So I'm going to leave it there. Your life starts in your heart. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your life, everything that you do starts in your heart because that's the thing that keeps you going. It's the life beat. It's the light, and I don't want to call it a heartbeat, but it's the life beat. Your life beats through your heart. It's like the thing that you see. It makes you excited. So it says, keep vigilant and watch over your heart. That's where life starts. Don't talk out of both sides of your mouth. Avoid careless banter, white lies, and gossip. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Ignore all sideshow distractions. Watch your step, and the road will stretch out smooth before you. Look neither to the right nor left. Leave evil in the dust. But I love that first part. Keep vigilant, watch over your heart, because that's where your life starts. The more you keep thinking about a negative thing, the more the negative thing's going to happen because it starts within the heart. Okay. The story you keep telling is a prophecy. You are prophesying to yourself, not just a memory. So be careful what you keep speaking over your life. I love this one. So we can even stop it right here, but we're going to keep going. Point number 2 says a story has a narrator, and it is you. Okay. And she needs to be fired. Whoever she was, the old you, the Bible says, he that is in Christ is a new creature. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things become new. We're doing a new thing in 2026. Okay. And if we're doing that new things in 2026, the narrator that was narrating 2025, they need to be fired because somehow they've crept into 2026 and we need to fire them. Every story has a narrator, and the narrator is your internal story, has a particular voice, a particular spin, a particular conclusion. She's always drives towards. For many of us, the narrator is the wounded version of us, the one who was hurt at 12, abandoned at 25, betrayed at 35, um, defamed character at 40, you know, single at 50. She's been running the commentary ever since. Okay. This person, she's just been running it. And she is not the objective. She is scared and she is protecting herself by keeping the story the same. I got to keep it the same story because it's a safe place for me to keep telling this story. Because doing something new or thinking something different, we always will think, well, it's not working for me. It's not working for me. It's not working for me. None of this is working for me. This isn't working for me. But we have to really reprogram ourselves. Okay. It is time to hire a new narrator, the new you, one who tells the story with grace and power and with an ending that hasn't been even been written yet. Like she can go into this whole story and be like, listen, I bought my $1 million home and I'm, telling the end of the story before it's even been written, before it's even been put on paper. That's what an author does. An author writes and they can tell a story and they get to the end of the story before they've even written it down. Lamentations 3:20, 3:22 to through 23. It says, because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail, and they are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. Um, Reading it out of the Message Bible. It says, God's loyal love couldn't have run out. His merciful love couldn't have dried up. They're created new every morning. How great your faithfulness. I'm sticking with God. I say it over and over. He's all I've got left. I remember when I started on this journey and I was, really accepting who I was and where I was going and why I was going. And I remember telling God, you're all I got. I don't have anybody else. There's no friends. There's no, I didn't have the buddy system. It was me and God. And I told him, you're all I got. I don't have anything else. So when I say I'm sticking with him, I'm sticking with God. Okay. I'm a stick beside him. The wounded version of you was doing her best. Okay. Honor her. Thank you for allowing us to get here. We appreciate it. And then take a pen out of her hand. Just, can we have that? We just need to have that pen. Like, thank you so much. You've done enough. You've written so eloquently to get us here, and we greatly appreciate it. But we're gonna have to take that pen from you now. We need to have something else, and we thank you. Right? Here's point number 3: victim story or victor stories start the same events. Start with the same events. This is why I tell you your story should not make you cry, but your story should edify. So if something has happened to you and you begin to tell that story and you start crying, you're still in victim mode. Okay. When I'm telling my story about everything that has happened in my life, from my mother, from my childhood, from the violation in my home, all of those things, I don't cry anymore because now I'm victorious. Okay. The radical truth is two women can have the identical experience and tell a completely different stories about it. One says that broke me and I never recovered. The other says that broke me open and I became someone I never could have been otherwise. People go through things and they go through loss. And have you seen people who go through loss and they come out on the other side and they say, if it had not been for this day, or if it had not been for this moment, I don't think I would have been here. If it had not been for COVID, a lot of people wouldn't have, a lot of people wouldn't, there's the women who made the cake. What is it called? The furlough cake or something like that. If COVID hadn't happened, a lot of people wouldn't be where they are. They wouldn't have stepped out of their comfort zone and done something different. It wouldn't have been a pivot moment. It would have just been a pit moment, right? So when we talk about the pivot, it is now pivoting because what broke me is the thing that made me. So when we look at how we navigate through a relationship, did it break you? Absolutely it did. It just broke me. But it made me become the person that I am to make me more aware and make me more cognitive of saying, that's not something that I want to do anymore. That's not a relationship that I want to have because it doesn't make me feel good. And when I start to relive that in the experience that I'm experiencing with a new person, it makes me say, I wake up to it and I don't relive it. Okay. It's the same event, just a different narrative and a different life. You don't have to pretend the painful things didn't happen. Honor that. I appreciate this happening. I appreciate the experience. I appreciate all of that. Um, you don't have to minimize them or perform healing you don't feel. Okay. Everybody's healing is different, but you do get to choose what role the events play in your ongoing story. Is it the ending or is it a turning point? So is it something that's going to make you change your mind and change who you are? Or is it something that's just going to end you and you're just going to stop doing that? So again, your stories that you're telling about your past should edify, not make you cry. Okay? It can make someone else cry, but it shouldn't make you cry. Because remember when we all started out in the group about 5 years ago, we were all in these moments and we were all having these moments where we would just cry and we're crying and we're crying and we're crying and we're crying. And now here we are as women who have become victorious and we have been conquerors. We've conquered these old, this old life, these old patterns, these old habits and behaviors. Genesis 5:20 says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." We have gone through these things to save the lives of many people in our lives. The generational curses, if we say that we're the generational curse breakers, we need to break these generational curses. Okay. This is when Joseph is taken. 19 through 21, Joseph replied, "Don't be afraid. Do I act for God? Do you see? You planned evil against me, but God used these same plans for my good. As you see all around you right now, life for many people. Easy now. You have nothing to fear. I'll take care of you and your children." He reassured them, speaking with them heart to heart. These are where we're at with our family members. We are going through these changes. What we thought was the pit is actually taking us to a palace or a place of comfort or a place that we are going to be able to restore the years that the locusts have taken from us. We are going to be able to restore the life and rewrite the story that was written. Yeah, I was in the pit. They put me and my brothers, put me in the pit, took my coat, my coat of many colors, ripped it up, took it back to my daddy. Excuse me. Lied. Then I get in the palace. Potiphar, his wife, lady tries to hit on me. I tell her no. She lies on me and says I tried to rape her. It didn't happen. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I tried to take advantage of her. Um, that didn't happen. Then I get into prison. I'm in jail now, and I have to tell one of the cook, the chef, and the cupbearer, just remember me, okay? Um, Now I'm remembered. Now I can walk in my purpose. But I had to go through all these things in order for me to get to the place of knowing who I am and who God is to me. Joseph didn't deny the pit, he reframed what it produced. This is not a toxic positivity. This is a prophetic perspective. When we read about it, Joseph spoke life to himself. He says, "Listen, this didn't happen. This happened for a reason. Don't be afraid." Because now he's with the people that actually betrayed him. Don't be afraid. Okay. I'm not here to hurt you, but I'm here for a purpose because God knew that this was coming and he sent me to do what needs to be done to save the family from the famine and from all of the things that were going to probably take them out had I not been in this position. Point number 4 is this: a new story requires a new audience. You can't tell a new story to an audience that is invested in the old one. Oof, those old friends. Girl, how's Pookie doing? You ain't talked to Pookie in 4 years. Drumming up a man that he done went on with his life. Drumming up an old job, drumming up a business or something, drumming up something that came from the past. And that's what they do. They will use your life against you. Some of the people in your life need to stay the same. They want you to stay the same. They need you there because they don't know how to grow. And so rather than them learning how to grow with you, they'll keep you where they're at and they'll keep you at the bottom of the barrel, keep you bottom level, and keep you so stagnant. Because your limitation is their comfort. You living in lack. I love that. You know, my mother loved the fact that I was paycheck to paycheck living. Oh, she loved it. Loved it. As soon as you owned a business, oh my God. Oh, it was something so detrimental for her. This is why rewiring is not just internal work. It requires you to be intentional about who has access to your stories while you're rewriting it. Um, that is the saying that says, move in silence. Not everybody needs to know what's happening. Okay. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your becoming. Some people get the highlight reel after the rewire is complete. Okay. Matthew 7:6 says, don't give dogs what is sacred. Don't throw your pearls to the pigs. They used to say, don't cast your pearls to the swine or something like that. Um, and I'm sorry, I'm a little dragging tonight. I'm a little sleepy. Matthew 7:6 says, don't be flip with the sacred. Banter and silliness gives no honor to God. Don't reduce holy mysteries to slogans. In trying to be relevant, you're only being cute and inviting garbage. Sacrilege. I'm sorry. Sacrilege. Is that right? Am I in the right chapter? Matthew 7:6. Hmm. Don't be flip with the sacred. Banter and silliness give no honor to God. Don't reduce holy mysteries to slogans. In trying to be relevant, you're only being cute and inviting sacrilege. Guard your new story like a treasure. It is. Not everyone has earned the right to speak into your becoming. Okay, there are certain people that you shouldn't even be given the script to. Some people need to be written out of your story. Just need to write them out of your story. Um, you know how they do on the soap operas when you had your favorite actor or you had you had one of your favorites, right? And all of a sudden they're written out of the story. And you're just like, well, what happened? And that was because they went on to do something else, went on to do bigger and better things, or they had a movie deal, or it just that didn't work for them. And so what the soap operas would do is they would write them out of the story. So there are some people that you need to just write out of your stories. Just write them on out. Okay, while you're writing in your journal, and I thank you for this person. Their experience is it was great, but you know, I need to move on to greener pastures. Okay. You did not survive everything. You have survived so that you could spend the rest of your life narrating it as a tragedy. Okay. Your life is not tragic. You survived it so you could stand in a room like the one we are in this setting, and tell the next woman, it was hard and I made it. And look what God did with the broken pieces. I am honored that God has chosen me to be that woman, that I can sit in rooms, that I can tell my story, and that I can let a person know who the God of, I've never, um, normally never do this, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, the God that I spoke to in those defining moments, in those times when I thought I was never going to make it. I'm honored that God selected me to be the woman, to do this and show women that you're not broken. He's just putting you together. Okay. He's refining you and he's making you better. This is not just your testimony. This is your assignment. Okay. Your assignment is to write a new story. It's waiting on you right now. Okay. The pen is in your hand. It's waiting for you to tell this new story about the life that you say you want to live. What does she look like? Where does she live? The pen is in your hand. Okay. Lisa Nichols said it in the movie The Secret. The pen is in your hand. You can write a new story tomorrow if you choose to. Okay. So get radically honest. Okay. On this page, we're going to get honest. There are 5 prompts, and I'm going to let you read through them. This is on video, so you can pause wherever. But I want you to pick a prompt that makes something stir within you. Okay. The one your mind doesn't want to answer. That is the one that you need to really hone in on. Okay. So number 1 is my most told story. Okay. Number 2, the narrator I've been using. Number 3 is the role this story plays. Number 4, the turning point reframe. And number 5, the story that I'm writing. So here's some thought-provoking questions. No one's in the room right now, but these are questions that you can ask yourself in silence. Okay. Do the work. Doing the work is going to bring you to the other side. It's going to be able to allow you to tell a different story. Okay. We've been doing this now for 5 years, and here we are in year 5, going into year 5, and um, we've kind of fallen off. I'm here, but I'm still going to do it, even though we're not all in the room together. I still feel your presence. I still know that you guys are watching. I still know that you're there. Um, but this is a different place that we are in. So the questions that you can ask yourself, don't rush through it. But this is a story that we all are going to be able to tell, when this gets bigger. And everybody can say, I remember sitting in this room when there was thousands of us and we were navigating through Google Duo, and we were navigating through all of these things, and we've met these women from Malta, we've met the women from Atlanta, we've met the women from Chicago, we've met the women from Virginia Beach and Texas, and Arkansas. We've met all of these wonderful women, and they have these powers, and even Nebraska. We've met all of these wonderful, beautiful, powerful women who have a gift that I miss truly. But I think we all have now our journey where I remember I said last year, the plane has landed, and now we have to navigate on where we're going. And some of you will be here, and some of you may not. Um, but I know that we've made it this far, and I'm ever so grateful for all of you, um, for this room that we have created, and um, making me walk in that gift. So thank you. I don't know where that came from, but thank you. All right. Here's some questions that you can ask yourself, in your journals. One of these questions you can ask yourself. Um, with this lessons that I've created this thing called the bridge belief. And so we start with the old story, we get to the middle of the bridge, and then we get to the truth. Okay. So this is the examples. My past is the most important thing about me. Your bridge belief is my past is a part of my story, but it is not the whole story, and it's not the ending. The new truth you'll tell yourself is my story is still being written, and the best chapters are ahead. Um, Your old story is I was always struggling because of what happened to me. Your bridge belief is what happened to me. Um, What happened shaped me, but my healing is reshaping me even more. Absolutely, that is. My new truth, when you get to that point where you can say, I am not what was done to me, I am what I choose to become in spite of it. In spite of everything that I've gone through, I choose to become the millionaire. I choose to become the woman who is loved and appreciated and valued by her husband. Okay. Something to new truth. So here's where we're going to do the old story I'm releasing, your bridge belief, and the new story that you are writing. The affirmation, I am done retelling the story that keeps me small. I am done giving the wounded version of me the pen. I am the author of what comes next. I am writing it with truth, with courage, and with faith in God, who makes all things new. The old story served its purpose. I honor it and I release it. I am not what happened to me. I am not the worst thing I've ever been through. I am not the person they said I was. I am the woman God is still writing, and the best chapters are ahead. The new story starts today, for real. Revelations 21:5 says, He who is seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. Let's read it out of the Message Bible. Everything new is chapter 21. Sorry, my light went out. Starts at 3. I heard a voice thunder from the throne. Look, look, God has made into the neighborhood, making his home with men and women. They're his people. He's their God. He'll wipe every tear from their eyes. Death is gone from their good for good. Tears gone, crying gone, pain gone. All the first order of things gone. The enthroned continued, Look, I am making everything new. Write it all down. Each word dependable and accurate. Each word dependable and accurate. Write it all down. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all. Like I said, you guys have really shaped me into the woman that I am today. I greatly appreciate you. I honor you. I respect you. I value you, even if I don't ever talk to you again, if we never have another conversation. Just know that I appreciate you for allowing me to be in your life, to be in your circle, um, to have been a part of you, to have shared this growth and my potential and me becoming the woman that I'm supposed to be, which is the teacher. I'm ever so grateful for. Um, the expansion that God has taken us in and where every one of us is going, even if our paths don't cross again. I just want you to know I thank you and I appreciate you all. Um, so thank you for watching. And if you need a coaching, you know that you can just reach out to me at any point in time. Um, so I love you and thank you guys.